Hi, I'm Justin Peckett from Leading Teams, and you've got to the point where I'm going to ask you to take a deeper look and reflect and review on your self-audit. Self-audit and reflecting on a self-audit is a really important process, one that takes a few goes. I remember the first time that I did it, it took a few goes to really get a real deeper understanding and a greater level of awareness of what I saw as the truth about me and ultimately how it may impact my behaviour and my performance and the people around me. This is an exercise that is about creating a deeper level of self-awareness and absolute clarity around who you are and what you stand for. And then ultimately, it's not about perfection, it's not about judgment, it's just about acknowledging the truth about you. Having done your self-audit for the first time, the idea now through this process is for you to have a deeper look at the words that you've captured. Identifying themes, words that perhaps give you some excitement, some energy, perhaps some words or some truths about you that you're not happy with, that you don't like. The fact is, as a human, some of the words that you've written will contradict, they'll be at odds with each other. There'll be some that you do like, there'll be some that you don't like, there's some that are productive, there'll be some that are counterproductive, but ultimately they all add up to describe who you are right now. One of the more powerful ways to really get a sense around how you are connected to these truths, these words that you've captured in your self-audit, is to say them out loud. Look at yourself in the mirror. Say these words out loud. It will be a little bit uncomfortable, but that's okay. What we're trying to do here, through getting a deeper understanding of the truth about you, is to actually stretch you outside your comfort zone. Acknowledge what needs to be acknowledged, both from a sense of, I'm not really happy with these words, they're not overly productive, they don't help me in terms of my behaviour and my performance. They're a gap, it's an area of improvement. Alongside of the words that do help you, that are words that are productive, they're truths that you like, they give you energy, they give you enthusiasm, and they ultimately help your performance, your behaviour in whatever role that you are undertaking at any point in time. As you explore these words and you think more deeply around what these words actually look like, what these truths look like in action, what I want you to be able to do is think about how they make you feel, think about how they might make other people feel, think about the impact they have, not only on your performance, but also on perhaps the performance of those around you. When I recently went through my self-audit, again, as an opportunity to reflect, I was certainly challenged by my mentor, Ray McLean, to have a deeper look at some of the words in particular and really question myself around, what does that actually mean? What does that look like? How does that make me feel? How does that actually impact others? How does that impact how other people feel? So as an example, with one of my words being grumpy, what does that actually mean for other people in my life? And so when I think about my wife, I think about my kids, I think about my work colleagues. If I allow myself to continue to be grumpy, particularly under pressure, how does that impact not only my behaviour and my performance, but how does that impact others? And so from that exercise of reflecting and thinking more deeply and pulling words apart in terms of what they actually mean and what they look like, you can start to get a real sense and I guess a deeper level of self-awareness around a truth about you as part of your self-audit and how that impacts your performance, which then allows you to be in a better, stronger position to make changes to improve your behavioural performance or to keep doing the things that are productive and helpful. To ensure that the self-audit is a meaningful process and that at the end you have real clarity around who you are and what you want to stand for, it is important that you do have a couple of goes at reflecting and reviewing your self-audit. It's important to find the time, it's important to give yourself some uninterrupted time and really challenge your thinking. Really challenge yourself. It will be uncomfortable. Not everyone loves doing a self-audit and doing a self-audit well because there are elements of your self-talk that perhaps you don't like. And that is challenging for people. So to do it well, you do need to challenge yourself. You do need to do it a number of times until you get to a point where you're satisfied that there's no more immediate reflection to be done. I can now move on to the next part of the process. So ultimately, your personal trademark will reflect your self-talk. And so if you've had a good crack at your self-audit, if you've had a good crack at reviewing and refining, and if you've gone really deep and you've challenged yourself as to what these words really mean and what they look like in action, you've reflected, you've received some feedback, your personal trademark will be a very useful tool on the back of your willingness and your preparedness and your commitment to reflecting and refining, reviewing your self-audit.